Welcome to my talk about how we manage the vulnerability on our project CPaaS. So maybe I can. Yeah. So I'm Mathieu Dupré. I work for Savoir-Faire Linux. We are a services company, and we provide service around open source software, and we are involved in the Linux Energy CPaaS project. So what is CPaaS? CPaaS, the goal of CPaaS is to bring virtualization on power substation, like this one. So basically, this is a virtualization platform. we use some open source, a lot of open source software, and we configure it to provide the virtualization for substation. Of course, because we are inside a substation, we have a very high level of cybersecurity, and there is also some regulatory pressures like the NIS2. This is why we need a way to manage and to monitor vulnerabilities. So this is the CPaaS stack. So as I said previously, we use a lot of open source software, and all this software can have a vulnerability. So we need to know exactly what we have inside our system and with the exact version, and monitor continuously if there is a vulnerability which appear to quickly fix them. So in CPaaS we are built around distribution. So either a Yocto-based distribution we make specifically for CPaaS, or regular classical Linux distribution like Debian and CentOS for the moment. But we can provide more. For the virtualization we use KVM and QEMU. And yes, we use a lot of potentially critical open source software like OpenVSwitch, Safe for the safe storage. So yeah, as I say, we have multiple distribution. The main one is Yocto and Debian, and we have now a third one which is CentOS. But we do nothing for the moment regarding availability on CentOS. Yocto and Debian are very different because on Yocto we build specifically a distribution for CPaaS. We compile all from scratch, but we have full control of the distribution. As the opposite, on CPaaS we use on Debian we use regular distribution, so all the package and all the software are compiled by the Debian teams, and it is more an IT philosophy. There is no compilation, and we need to wait the Debian team to patch a software, or if possible we can tweak the configuration to have a workaround. So how we maintain CPaaS secure? First, we need to know exactly which software are installed on the system with the exact version. Once we have this part, we can monitor on the internet if there is a security issue. And after we discover a security issue, we need to know if the issue impacts our system or not, and if we need to do something, apply patches, tweak the configuration. So to achieve this goal, we need two things. The first thing is to generate an inventory of all the installed software. This is called SBOM for Software Bill of Materials. And after we need a tools, we can use this SBOM to monitor for us the vulnerability and give us the patches and how to fix the vulnerability. And also, we want to record on the software the status. For instance, if we know that the vulnerability do not affect us, we want that we can put on the tool the status to avoid redo the same analysis each time. Okay, just before to go deeper, I will talk briefly about the vulnerabilities. So what is a vulnerabilities? Vulnerabilities is software exposure, and you can exploit these vulnerabilities to run an unwanted code inside a software, here CPaaS. I will talk about CVE. So CVE is for Common Vulnerability Exposure. It's a standard way to report a vulnerability. Each vulnerability is CVE have a number, an identifier, which begins by CVE dash the year and dash the number of the counter of the CVE. So the first CVE of the year is 1, and the counter increase each CVE appear. And the last thing we can use is also the common platform enumeration called CPE. It is an identifier to identify the exact version of the software with the vendor, the product, and the version number. And we can also include the revision if the distribution apply a change on it. This identifier is essential to after look at all the public database and find your vulnerability and find your software. So all the vulnerability are watched and monitored, and each time a CVE occurs, it is stored on a database which is called the National Vulnerability Database, NVD. This is managed by the US government. Now they split the job, and some vendors like Red Hat and others can be can be involved in the processes, but all the data will be centralized inside this database. All distributions also have own security tracker. This security can include more information regarding the vulnerability and how the vulnerability affects specifically the distribution. For instance, for Debian, this is a Debian security tracker. There is also other sources can be used. This sourcing can provide vulnerability which is not a CVE, and can be useful also. There is a non-exhaustive list here. So yeah, this is an example for the CVE inside the NVD database. So when you have a CVE, you can see which software is impacted. This is inside the description. You can find the CVE number, and there is also a score. CVSS score. There is a different score because there is different version, and this score give it's nice to know how the vulnerability can impact the system. This is based on which privilege we grant you if you exploit the vulnerability, and how it is easy or not to exploit the vulnerability. So if the vulnerability is easy to exploit and grant a lot of privilege, the score will be very high. We can find inside also this page useful information like the sources of the vulnerability, and they try to centralize all the security advisor inside these pages, but it's not totally accurate. Okay, the next part is how we can know which component we have on your system. Because on Linux distribution there is a very lot of number of open source system which is inside your machine, and it is essential to know all the software inside. Otherwise, maybe a small library can have a vulnerability, and we will miss this vulnerability. So to do that, we can generate an SBOM. So an SBOM is basically a software inventory. This can be useful for track vulnerability, but also make a risk assessment based on the software you have. And it is also required by some, will be required by some regulatory in US and Europe. Generate an SBOM can be very challenging because it will depend on the software inside. Generated will depend on the distribution. For instance, it is not the same way how you generate the SBOM on Debian and Yocto. You need to generate a SBOM at different scope. In CPaaS, we can provide the SBOM for the OS, but on top of CPaaS, there is a virtual machine. So in the ideal world, you need also provide SBOM for each virtual machine. If you use containers, you need also SBOM for each containers. And of course, your custom application, if your custom application use other third-party software, you need to know this third-party as well and generate a SBOM. The other challenge regarding SBOM is there is no total standard. There is two formats, SPDX and CycloneDX, but sometimes some software providers have their own SBOM. Provide their own SBOM in their own format. But the main common are SPDX and CycloneDX. There is also a format for specialized for the vulnerability, which contain software and its vulnerability inside, which is OpenVest, which can be used. And OpenVest can be included or not inside the SBOM, inside CycloneDX and SPDX 3, but not 2. So how we generate SBOM on the CPaaS? So we use different ways for the two flavors, Debian and Yocto. On Yocto, it is fully integrated on the Yocto build process. So at the end of the build, SBOM is generated. It is generated in the SPDX2 format for now because we use the long-term version of Yocto, but they switch to SPDX3. And they also provide our own CVE mechanism because on the Yocto, when they provide a patch for fix a vulnerability, they included inside the Yocto project, and it is exported in a custom JSON file. For at least for the moment. Now they have switched into SPDX3. It will be included inside the SBOM, but not for now. So the main advantage on Yocto, it's fully integrated, and it includes also all the information, not only the software you use on the target, but also the software which has been used to generate your software. So the toolchain, for instance, which can be also it can matter because there is more amount supply chain attack. And we can place a vulnerability inside the toolchain to include inside the final binary a vulnerability. So the main drawback of the Yocto SBOM, it's very difficult to use because it generates one SBOM per package. So one SBOM per software. There is no CP inside, so no common platform enumeration. And they use a custom standard for the CVE and vulnerability status. On the opposite, there is no standard way to do this, but there is tool you can use. It is done. It is not done during the compilation because you do not compile the Debian. It is done once you are completely fully installed the system. You can run this tool. So there is basically 3 tools: apt2sbun, 3v, and Sift. 3v and Sift are better because they basically the two use the apt, so the package manager, to know what they are inside the system. But 3v and Sift support also other specific packager like npm and pipe. So yeah, more than apt. On CPass, we use only packages, so we can use one of the 3. It's okay, and it can generate, depending on the tool, the SBOT format can differ. So yeah, regarding the drawback, you need to do basically once the system is fully installed. So I will talk now the tool we have developed to monitor the vulnerability on CPass. It is not a specific tool for CPass, but we can use it on CPass. In 2033, we have made a talk because we have the same need, and we check existing tools, but we do not find a tool we check all our need. Either it was a proprietary and not open source, because we are an open source project which we search for an open source tools. All these sources are completely blind to the CVE-Yocto status because it is a custom status. We need to merge all the SBOM by hand, and yes, it was very painful. And some tools like an SBOM format, and or it was impossible to report vulnerability status inside the tool. So each time we need to redo the analysis. So this is what we have made Wilscott. So Wilscott bring 3 things. First, they took every SBOM and they in SPDX or CycloneDX format, and it will merge all the SBOM together to have one SBOM we can use with all the information. After, it will check on NVD database and also other vulnerability databases. And once we have the search is done, it provides remediation guidance. So it directly provides the page how tweak your system to mitigate the vulnerability. Yeah, no. This is a Wilscott workflow. So once you have generated your SBOM and also the Yocto CVE file, you can give it to Wilscott. It will merge it together and it will generate an updated SBOM. It will fetch all the vulnerability database, including distribution specific like the Debian security tracker. It will also take the previous analysis, so all the status you have made, and you can also add custom status for new vulnerabilities, and it will generate a report at the end. Okay, I can show you a quick demo on video. So the first thing you need to do if you plan to use Wilscott is to place all your input inside the input directory. Yeah, okay. Once you have done, you can customize the configuration. Basically, Wilscott run on the Docker Compose, and you can use this Docker Compose to tweak the configuration if you want to change the input directory or the output directory, and so on. Yeah, you can also provide some information, that's the name of your product and things like that. Once it is done, you can, after, launch a browser and connect to VirusCode. Yeah, and it will run the analysis. So the first step, VirusCode do is merging all the SBOM file. So here's the SPDX, and after the CycloneDX file, and it will run the analysis with different scanner. Okay, and once it is done, it will merge all the results into one updated SBOM, including the vulnerability. Yeah. And you can after access to the VirusCode dashboard. This is here. So the main dashboard shows a recap of all the vulnerability. Short, you can have a view on the severity of the vulnerability based on the CSSV score we have seen previously. On the right, you can see if the vulnerability are fixed or not. Here, in this example, we have do nothing, so all the vulnerabilities are in pending analysis. If you rerun periodically the analyzer, you can have a vulnerability graph around the time, and it will provide the last view is the sources of the vulnerability. Okay, once you have this, you can look to the packages view. Yeah. In this view, you have all the software installed with all the version, including the distribution revision, like you can see for some on the AMD 64 microcode, and a recap with all the vulnerability found inside, with also the associated sources. So this view is for just knowing which software you have. So as you maybe I can go back. Okay, as you can see, there is 15 pages with 50 software per pages. So on CPaaS, there is a huge amount of software. This is what is essential to have a tool like that. So the next tab is vulnerabilities. When you can, okay, yeah, you can do research if you want. Yes, there is also a selector if you want to know the vulnerabilities par severity. Okay, qualifies. Okay, so the other tab is the vulnerability tab. Inside this tab, you can find all the CVE which is found on your system, and the severity, and there is also a exploitability score, which is so the severity is a CVVS score, and exploitability is another score. We can see after the package which is affected. Which is a vector attack. This is essential if it is a network, a physical, or similar attack. For instance, on CPaaS, because we are on substation, physical attacks are more difficult to do. So we can maybe after think it is less important than a network attack. And after the status, the estimate effort is how time you think you need to take to fix the issue. This is something you need to put manually. Okay, donc for instance, I will show you an example of vulnerability. Yeah. So when you select a vulnerability, you have a recap of the severity, something like that. All the CVE score with a different version. Basically, this is a recap of the NVD pages, but there is also some extra link. For instance, here, because we use Debian, VulsCont detect also includes the CVE inside directly the security Debian tracker. This is the first link. Okay. Yeah. So when you click on the first link, you can have a specific description regarding your distribution here, Debian. Okay, I will just pass. The other thing you can do is estimate the time you can take to fix the vulnerability and give us a status. If the vulnerability affects your system or not. This is the last element, for example, here affected. Okay. There is two other tabs, the patch finder to find potential patch for your vulnerability. Here I think on the example there is no patches. Here. And the other one is export, if you want to export the vulnerabilities, all the vulnerabilities inside a PDF. You can use the export tabs. Maybe I can show. Okay. Okay. So you can generate a report like this, which include a summary with a recap of all the vulnerability and all the information you have put inside. And after it will, it will display all the vulnerabilities. Okay. So what we plan to do on to do future work on VulsCont and SBL and CPaaS, we want to automate all the VulsCont pipeline inside our CPaaS CI, because we have a complete CI on CPaaS. So we have to generate the SBOM for Debian. On Yocto, it is already done because it is included on the Yocto project. And include VulsCont on it and generate and export the report each time we run the CI. We want also to test VulsCont with CentOS. Here we have just test with Debian and Yocto. We think it will, with CentOS, it should work as Debian. Okay, so yeah. If you have any question, you can ask them now. Otherwise, you can find the CPaaS project. There is the link here, and if you are testing on VulsCont, there is also the VulsCont GitHub pages you can find here. VulsCont can also be used on any other project. This is not a specific CPaaS tool. It just works on all the features we want on CPaaS. Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. My name is Kevin from Expo, Switzerland. My question is about the VulsCont. How can I integrate VulsCont also to, let's say, lots of repositories I have in GitHub or GitLab or other platforms? Or is it just for this use case, especially because I'm not familiar with the...
Okay, first, to use VulsCont, you need to generate a software bill of material, SBOM. And once you have it, you can, it's a Docker, from VulsCont, it's just a Docker container, so you can, with a Docker compose file, so you can fetch VulsCont, and run the Docker Compose with inside the Viscot project, and it will run with Viscot. And to analyze your SBOM, you need to put your SBOM inside the input directory.
So I need to download it first in the input directory and then.
Yeah, you need to download first Viscot, place your SBOM in the input directory, and run Docker Compose. And after, you open the browser with put it URL, and it will work. Okay.
Hi, Marco Galvagno from Tesmec. One question, is this tool scriptable in a CI/CD environment in order to populate every time new releases of software, in order to track for each release or for each tag?
Yeah, this tool is, can be automated. We have not done it yet on CPaaS. We plan to do it. Yeah, either you can run the Docker directly on your CI, and if it is not possible, you can also just install all the requirements and include it on the script on your CI. But yes, it is possible.
Thank you.
I have also a question, one question from maintaining. So now you only consider the master, you look on the master branch, but if you have to maintain different versions, is there also a way inside? So in the energy market, or in the field, you have one version, then you have other version as well, yes? And the usual problem, what we now facing out is now if you have different branches, yes, to manage these CVs in different branches, because that knows always to take the actions twice and so more. Is there some solution inside?
Yeah, you can, as long as you export the SBOM of different version, you can use it on Viscot. Maybe the best way to use one instance of Viscot per version. It is what we plan to do. On the export tabs, you can, once you have, for instance, you know that vulnerability does not affect your system, and this vulnerability is inside all your version, you can export in OpenVex format just the vulnerability system status and include it in the input of the other instance, and it will be taken account. So you can have several instances, but you can export information to one instance to another instance to avoid to duplicate the analysis work.
Ah, okay. Thank you. More questions?
Thank you. Yeah, I had a question. Is it possible to put your own policy, for instance, on licenses in VulnScout?
Yeah, I forgot to mention, so VulnScout is Apache 2 licenses, so you can modify it. Apache 2 is very permissive license. You need to just mention the original author, I think, and you can do after whatever you want.
I meant more like scan the components you found in your SBOM and put a policy on licenses. So, for instance, which components you want to allow or see as a risk, or other ones you don't see as a risk.
Okay, I don't really understand the question. Do you want to create a custom policy to only display when there is a certain amount of severity score?
Yes.
It is not possible yet, but after you can sort by severity score and just display on the interface the severity you want, and I think it can. Yes, you can do it in this way.
Yeah, first of all, thank you very much. I think it's very, very interesting, and I think it's needed work. But if you then, from our experiences when you're coming from Red Hat, so if you show that to users you see, compared to proprietary software, you have a long list of vulnerabilities that are there in the list, which are not there on the other side because of the granularity of the packages, and then every package is doing that. So very, very important is to not stop at the CVE level lists, but do a proper risk assessment. What is the actual risk out of that? So we do not confuse that, because security people often get very confused between risk analysis and CVE lists. And so to make a CVE list, and even maybe we can collaborate also in the CPaaS level, is what is the risk of, because we know how we use these packages, and sometimes we even mitigate them in the process already, and they are not in the risk level. So I think the next level would be really a risk analysis of the part, which includes mitigations and implicit mitigation that are there by the usage.
Yeah, I think I see what you mean. I'm not I'm not sure this is the vision of the maintainer to. For us, we think that the risk analysis is somewhere else, and the guys who we use after the VLSCOT need to be aware of the risk analysis, of course. But yeah, there is a lot of vulnerability which at the end do not impact you. Especially, for instance, on Yocto, there is when you run it on the Linux kernel, you can find a very huge amount of CVE, but you know that only a small amount of CVE will affect you.
Thank you for releasing this. I think it's a very useful tool. Do you also take into account software that has been end of life and does not receive any security updates, and also does not receive any new CVEs, even though they might be affected? Because we see that a lot when we do security analysis of systems, that people use that old end of life software.
Yeah, as long as you have the CVE will include this software, it will be detected by VLSCOT. But if nobody report vulnerabilities, unfortunately, the VLSCOT cannot see it.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, no more question? Okay, thank you.